Well, the whole decision by the court is certain confusion in the minds of some persons with regards to interpretation as it is. There are those who are saying it favors Sanusi Lamido as it is. There are those who are saying it favors Ado Bayero. But that then the court in its wisdom has says maintain status quo ante, like you pointed out earlier. I guess because of how sensitive this matter is, the courts are ensuring that they are careful with decisions because of how sensitive, again, this matter is. We know that there are those who are in support of and those who are against. And then we saw what happened initially when the Sanusi Lamido was restated. That's right. And we saw some persons troop on the streets, you know, to protest. That's right. And there were those who came out to support. But then we saw that the security personnel waded in quickly to curtail anything that could happen. And because that decision, we had already started hearing some persons speak with regards to the matters of whatever the decisions. There were those who were talking about APC trying to introduce another kind of Boko Haram into the state, and the party had to respond quickly that whatever it is you're saying is not true, bottom line. But then we are seeing some level of management of issues, which I think is important to highlight.
And a quite interesting thing here is that the courts, you know, to a very large extent or a reasonable extent, you know, took its stand and saying that because what Justice Lehman said was, come on, the Kano government or governor shouldn't have run to install Muhammad Sanusi because of the fact that they have to ensure that they listen or they obey the court order, which was, you know, which was already enforced. So the order talked about maintaining status quo. It nullified, you know, the court refused to nullify the Kano Emirate, but set aside steps taken by the state government in pursuance of the law.
Let me quickly, let's quickly go and take this other story, which is still on the emirship tussle. The Kano State Government has also directed the Commissioner of Police to remove the 15th Emir of Kano, Aminu Bayero, from the Nasarawa GRA mini palace where he resides. The State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Haruna Dederi, who stated this during a press conference, noted that the government has already concluded arrangements for the general reconstruction and renovation of the property, including the demolition and reconstruction of the dilapidated wall fence with immediate effect. The development came a few hours after the Federal High Court ruled on its substantive suit, validating the Kano Emirate Council Repeal Law 2024, but nullifying all actions of Governor Abba Yusuf following the passage of the law.
The Kano State Government has directed the State Commissioner of Police to remove the deposed Emir of the 8 metropolitan local government areas from the government property where he is trespassing, as government has already concluded arrangements for the general reconstruction and renovation of the property, including the demolition and reconstruction of the dilapidated wall fence with immediate effect.
What an interesting development to the whole conversation, Ibrahim. There are those who would say that, is this really necessary? Why is it coming at this time? Is this more about the voice of Jacob and the hands of Esau? Why are you thinking of renovating that building now at this point? Why was it not before this time? And can't it even wait? Is it that bad that we have to look at you know, reconstructing, destroying, or pulling that, whatever it is that you want to do, can't it wait at this point?
I think it's both the hands and voice of Esau and Jacob all together, everything inside one pool. Because it's funny. We've seen similar scenario played out in, what's it called, in River State, where the assembly complex was pulled down, all because they want to stop, you know, certain action or certain events, you know, going on there. Not obeying court order, because I was even going to say, whether the Kano government would definitely obey the ruling yesterday, you know, by the judge, but then it has actually transferred it to, I think, Justice Amobeda because of the elevation of the current judge that was looking into this matter of Kano Emirate, emirship to the Court of Appeal. So the matter is now before the Court of Appeal. So no court can exercise jurisdiction on it until it's decided by the Court of Appeal according to the law.
Absolutely.
Then we'll know what happens next, and then we're already seeing.
We've seen something happening next.
Happening next, because I do not know the way. The sad thing is that the politicians of this country, they've actually made a mockery of the traditional institution. And traditional institutions have actually placed themselves in the hands of politicians. They've made them like they've made them into a chess game. So it's all about, okay, this one goes, this one checks, this one doesn't. So
well, perhaps this is why there are those who are calling for a review of the laws that allows governors impose perhaps rulers, traditional rulers, and also depose them, as it is that perhaps the National Assembly needs to look into that, because the traditional institution is not what it used to be anymore, as it is, because of some of these issues that we have seen sprung up in recent times. We saw what happened in Ibadan also, where some of them were asked to stand up, sit down, and we also saw what happened in River State. So there are precedents to these events.
We've seen traditional ruler being thrown into the boot of a vehicle. You know, he's in Ekiti State or which of the states.
So it's important that we have a clear-cut direction on their roles constitutionally, and who should have the powers. Yes, the governors have the powers right now, but there are those asking that with all of these developments, it's important that we look into that critically if we want to have that respect that the traditional rulers need in the society.